Tasha Monroe, a quiet yet determined businesswoman, froze in her tracks as she witnessed an alarming act of inequality that struck deeper than any verbal offense could. With a heart racing and a calm yet fierce resolve in her eyes, she made a snap decision to challenge the unfair system, exposing a toxic culture of bias and deceit within her own organization. In that charged moment, the collapse of an outdated and discriminatory structure ignited her fierce drive to revolutionize not just her airline, but the entire sector, setting the stage for an intense battle for dignity and justice that would be unforgettable. Tasha had always believed that the true essence of leadership reveals itself during moments of adversity. As she entered the crowded terminal that morning, she felt the usual mix of excitement and purpose. But nothing could have prepared her for what she would witness next, a blatant act of disdain at the check-in counter that shattered the calm of her day. In that instant, a flood of anger and vulnerability overwhelmed her, each heartbeat resounding with a silent vow to take action. As she approached the desk, Tasha's composed demeanor hid the storm churning inside her. The cold, dismissive tone from the agent was like a spark to dry tinder, igniting the memory of countless quiet battles fought in boardrooms and behind closed doors. "I booked my ticket just like anyone else," she replied, her voice steady despite the turmoil inside. But the agent's sneer and the careless handling of her boarding pass sent a pang of betrayal deep into her chest. In that moment, Tasha realized that this wasn't a one-off incident. It was part of a much larger, more insidious problem within her company. As the minutes dragged on, every passing second felt like a battleground. She saw the subtle whispers and shocked glances among other passengers in line, each murmured comment feeding her inner monologue. "I will not be dismissed by those who underestimate me." Her eyes, usually calm and composed, now glowed with a fierce determination. When a stern voice instructed her to step aside, Tasha's response was calm but unwavering. "I expect to be treated with the same respect as everyone else." The confrontation escalated with every word exchanged. What had begun as a personal affront was quickly becoming a symbol of a broader struggle against a deeply ingrained system of bias. Beneath the routine chatter of airport procedures, Tasha could sense the hidden tension, a network of hidden agendas and whispered conspiracies. With each cold remark from the staff and every uneasy glance exchanged, she began to piece together a disturbing narrative. "This isn't just a one-time issue," she muttered in a low voice to a senior company representative who had stepped forward. "There's something more going on here. This is part of a deliberate pattern." In that private moment, the seeds of a corporate revolution were planted. The representative's hesitant nod reflected the growing realization of a problem they could no longer ignore. Tasha's determination to root out the corruption from within burned brighter than ever. The day wore on, with small victories punctuating mounting challenges. After demanding a full investigation into the incident, Tasha was met with forced apologies and vague promises of reform. Yet, each polite acknowledgement only made her suspicions grow. In quiet moments, away from the noise of the terminal, Tasha's inner voice became louder. "Now is the time to act," she thought to herself. Every rejection, every moment of being overlooked, only fueled her drive. What once felt like personal humiliation now became the catalyst for profound change. Her stand quickly evolved into a full-scale internal inquiry. In dimly lit boardrooms and hushed corridors, Tasha began uncovering layers of complicity and deceit. A whispered confession from an anxious employee revealed that the mistreatment wasn't random. It was a calculated effort to keep certain truths hidden. "They're trying to sabotage everything we built," Tasha asserted with growing confidence during a private meeting. "If we let fear guide us, we'll never move forward." With each new discovery, her resolve strengthened, and the glimmer of hope she once held quietly inside her became a guiding light. Not just for her company, but for everyone who had ever been dismissed or overlooked. The stakes escalated when digital evidence surfaced, proving that the sabotage was part of a larger, more dangerous campaign to destabilize her leadership. One quiet evening, in the solitude of a hotel room, Tasha pored over encrypted files and uncovered the smoking gun. The digital trail of deceit, leading straight to the heart of conspiracy. "This is it," she murmured, her hands trembling slightly as she traced the data. "These cowardly tactics won't dictate our future. We will hold them accountable." In those tense moments, Tasha's leadership was tested. There were sharp exchanges with colleagues, Tearful confessions from employees who had been complicit, and fierce declarations made in the privacy of her office. The quiet strength that had once defined her demeanor had transformed into an unshakable resolve to fight for justice, fairness, and transparency. "I speak for every voice that has been silenced," she declared in a public address, her words carrying the weight of someone who had faced humiliation and betrayal head-on. Conversations with trusted allies were filled with both sharp criticism and unwavering support. "You have every right to demand change," one colleague told her during an urgent strategy session. However, the fear of public backlash and potential scandal was palpable. "This isn't about saving face," Tasha responded, her voice firm yet tinged with the weight of those she knew had been hurt. "This is about ensuring that everyone here is treated with the dignity they deserve." Her words weren't just a call for justice. They were a promise to rebuild from the ground up, to replace a culture of oppression with one of mutual respect and fairness. The events of that day unfolded as a tapestry of persistence and courage. With each passing moment, Tasha's drive to cleanse her company of its toxic elements grew stronger. As the final confrontation approached, Tasha stood at the cusp of a new beginning, determined to turn her organization into a model of inclusivity and ethical leadership. "We will rise above this," she vowed to her team in a quiet yet powerful moment. "Together, we are stronger than any force that tries to bring us down." Her words resonated deeply, carrying not just the weight of personal experience, but the hopes of all those who have been silenced for too long. In that charged atmosphere, filled with anticipation of both reckoning and redemption, Tasha's journey was far from over. It was only just beginning. Every word, every action, was a step toward a future where fairness prevailed over bias, and where bravery in the face of adversity led the way. As the day shifted to evening, Tasha's eyes burned with unwavering determination. She knew the battle for justice was far from finished, and it would continue until every trace of injustice had been erased. Reflecting on betrayals, the painful moments, and the courageous stand she had taken, Tasha realized that real progress begins by confronting injustice head-on, no matter the cost. Each confrontation, each victory, revealed new dimensions of her leadership: the ability to listen, to learn, and to rebuild with honesty and integrity. She had shed the limitations of past expectations, embracing a vision of empowerment and inclusion. Tasha's journey had shown her that transparency, compassion, and accountability were the foundation for lasting change, and that every act of resistance against injustice is a spark for a brighter, more just future. As she walked the transformed terminal, where respect replaced suspicion and equality filled the air, Tasha knew that her mission extended beyond corporate success. She was dedicated to inspiring a culture of fairness, empathy, and empowerment. If her journey resonates with you, please share, and help us spread these powerful stories of courage and change. As Tasha Monroe stood in the transformed terminal, the air seemed to hum with a renewed sense of possibility. The battle had not been easy, and the road ahead would be filled with challenges, but she had ignited a spark that could never be extinguished. What began as a single act of defiance against injustice had evolved into a movement, one that resonated far beyond her company. Tasha's unwavering commitment to fairness and transparency had redefined what it meant to be a leader, setting a powerful example for others to follow. Her journey wasn't just about dismantling a broken system. It was about creating a new culture rooted in mutual respect, where every voice was heard and every individual was valued. Tasha had proven that true leadership comes not from authority, but from the courage to confront uncomfortable truths and the willingness to fight for what's right, no matter the cost. As she moved forward, Tasha knew that the fight for justice was ongoing, but now she no longer stood alone. She had inspired others to rise with her, to challenge the status quo, and demand a better future. Together, they would continue to push boundaries, tear down barriers, and forge a path toward a world where fairness and dignity triumphed over all. The real change had only just begun.